Welcome live to Holt Fieldhouse on the campus of Carson-Newman University, the final home volleyball match of the regular season here tonight between the Carson-Newman Eagles and the visiting Limestone Saints. Ryan Wilkes with you here on the Eagle Sports Network as we get ready to go for this one. Limestone comes in 10-10 on the season, 7-9 in the South Atlantic Conference. Carson-Newman, on the other hand, 10-6 in the South Atlantic Conference, 13-15 overall this season. So the Eagles look to get a big win here tonight over the Limestone Saints. The Eagles 7-1 at home this season, so it's been a very successful season here at Holt Fieldhouse for the Carson-Newman Eagles. Looking at the South Atlantic Conference standings, Wingate and Anderson still up top. Wingate 14-1 in conference, Anderson 15-2. The Eagles will travel to Anderson for the last match of the regular season. Looks like the South Atlantic Conference is pretty much all figured out. Carson-Newman currently sitting in 5th, right behind Lenore-Rhine at 13-4 in conference play. Don't think the Eagles will be able to catch up, but they do have good conference standing as we sit right now. Limestone 2 spots behind Carson-Newman, sitting 1 spot behind Catawba at 8-9 in conference play. As Limestone looks for a big win tonight over Carson-Newman, but the Eagles look to have something to say about that. So looking at starters for both sides, first for Limestone, number 1, Mia McMillan, number 3, Caitlin Thompson, number 4, Amy Loy, number 12, Camden Dalton, number 15, Josie Coran, number 19, Tatum Riddle, and at libero, number 16, Callie Covey. For the Eagles, number 4, Skylar Weaver, number 5, Julia Wheeler, number 10, Taylor Adams, getting back in that starting lineup tonight. Number 11, Emma Grace Cobb. Number 13, Carly Albaugh for the second consecutive match in the starting lineup. Number 24, Madison Fisher. At libero, number 15, Bennett McCombs. So we're about ready to go in this one. Head coach Ashley Tiernan and Limestone head coach Brandon Squares meet at midcourt. Squares' 10th year with Limestone. Pretty interesting statistic here, 111 and 112 all time. So only one game below 500 is Squares, looking to get that win to move up to 500 on his career tonight. 82-57 in conference, though, so he's had success with the Limestone Saints in his 10th year at the helm. 12th year overall with Limestone, served as an assistant before taking over the head coaching job. So ready to go, Limestone in the road blue uniforms, Carson-Newman in its home white uniforms. As we are about ready to go here from Holt Fieldhouse, fans continue to trickle in. It was a really exciting match the other night. Carson-Newman takes down Coker 3-0 on senior night. Really dominating performance from the Eagles, but it'll be a big test tonight. The Limestone Saints having a decent season overall. Tough team to take out. Carson-Newman, as I mentioned, have had success at home. 7-1 on the season. They only lost a 5-set defeat at the hands of the 23rd ranked Wingate Bulldogs at the time. And Wingate currently sitting atop the South Atlantic Conference. A couple matches left to play. So ready to go. It'll be Tatum Riddle to serve for Limestone. Goes back row for Madison Fisher. Albaugh sets up near side. Adams goes off the hands of a couple middle blockers. Kept alive. And they'll go off the top of the net by Riddle, and she gets the kill. Bit of an awkward bounce. Tough to read for the Eagles. And Limestone opens up the scoring. It's 1-0. Riddle will go back to serve after the kill. It was back row McCombs. Albaugh sets up for Cobb. Pokes it over, and it finds some open hardwood and down in from the diving Callie Covey. Kill for Emma Grace Cobb, and it's 1-1. Cobb just able to poke it over those middle blockers. Great attempt by Covey to get there, but couldn't do so in time. As Madison Fisher will go serve for the Eagles. 1-1 after the kill by Cobb. As it's set up near the net, far side, poked over, hits off the hands of Cobb, and now Wheeler. It'll be Amia McMillan that gets the kill. Point for the Saints. Sub coming in for Limestone. It's number 3, Caitlin Thompson checking in. It'll be Amy Loy to check out. Back to serve is the libero, Callie Covey. And she'll tee up the serve wearing that pink libero jersey for the Saints. Albaugh sets up near side Wheeler. Big swing off the hands of the middle blockers. The bump goes over. Now Albaugh sets up for Cobb. She's blocked, but is kept alive by Carson-Newman. Now near side, big swing past the hands of Fisher, but it'll go out of bounds off the hand of Coran. Brandon Squares arguing that that one was tipped, but to no avail. It's 2-all. Skylar Weaver checks in, Emma Grace Cobb checks out. It did not look like on the back row Fisher got any of that. So good call on the floor. As Bennett McCombs tees up the serve. This one tipped around near the net and is down. A service ace for Bennett McCombs off the hands of Tatum Riddle. Point Carson-Newman. It's now 3-2. The Eagles take their first lead early in this first set. 3-2 your score. McCombs ready to tee up the serve once again. This one will go into the net, so a service ace followed by a service error, and we're all tied up back at 3. 2 subs coming in. It's Mia Martinez as well as Jenna Zabelski. As it looks like Camden Dalton and Josie Coran will check out. Back to serve for the Limestone Saints is Zabelski as she gets it over. All ball sets up far side. It's Taylor Adams off the hand of the middle blocker and down. Point Carson-Newman. Taylor Adams will sub out. Taylor Kieran and Blair Cherry in as all ball exits as well. Kill for Taylor Adams. Didn't see much of her the other night, but she's back in action tonight. As Carson-Newman leads 4-3. Here's Blair Cherry with a serve that goes long. The other night, service errors were a point of emphasis for this Eagles team. 2 service errors already here in set number 1 as we're all tied up at 4. McMillan will serve for the Saints. Cherry sets up Weaver and she'll put it down and score. Skylar Weaver puts it down right in front of Jenna Zabelski. And Carson-Newman back in front. Quite a few lead changes here in set 1 as you see Weaver just able to put it down in front of Zabelski. As McKenna Hall checking in for Julia Wheeler, she'll serve. Hall has been one of the better servers on this Eagles squad as she puts this one back row. Near the net, big swing, but it goes long off the hand of Tatum Riddle. Point Carson-Newman. 6-4 your score off the attacking error by Riddle on the far side of the court. Hall will serve once again, 6-4 early here in set number 1. As Hall with the serve goes back row and out of play. Another service error for the Eagles, 3rd so far. And it'll give Limestone the serve back. Caitlin Thompson back to serve for Limestone. Trailing this one 6-5. Been a back and forth start. Carson-Newman with 3 kills to the 2 for Limestone. As it goes back row for McCombs, Cherry sets up Fisher. Big swing goes off the hands on the back row of the Limestone Saint and down. Point Carson-Newman. A kill by Madison Fisher, who has seen her playing time increase here in the past couple games. Does a great job right there. Skylar Weaver will serve for Carson-Newman. 7-5 your score. Back and forth in this first set. As this one goes back row. Set up near the net by Zabelski. A swing, and it goes off the hands of the middle blockers. It's Mia Martinez with the kill. Point Limestone. Here comes Camden Dalton checking in. It'll be Martinez, fresh off the kill that goes out. Also, Josie Curtin checks back in. Checking out is Zabelski. Back to serve is Camden Dalton. Back row for Fisher. Cherry sets up far side. It's Kieran who puts it down near the back line. Point Carson-Newman. Great job by Taylor Kieran as you see a couple subs come back in for the Eagles. Cherry and Kieran check out. Adams and Allball back in. So both teams rotating some subs here early on. This will be Carly Allball to serve for the Carson-Newman Eagles, leading this one 8-6. Still in the early going. It's been competitive both ways so far. This goes back row for the libero, kept in play. As now Allball sets up near side. It's Madison Fisher. She's blocked. Allball goes far side for Adams. Adams goes cross court. Nice job by Dalton to keep it in play. As Allball sets up Cobb, and she'll put it down on the near sideline. Point Carson-Newman. Emma Grace Cobb had a lot of success the other night. Picks up right where she left off as the Eagles lead by 3. Right at the peak of her jump. Gets it right past Camden Dalton in front of the Limestone bench. Here's Allball to serve once again. The Eagles out in front by 3. This will go down off the hands of Tatum Riddle, point Carson-Newman. Second service ace of the night for Carson-Newman. As McCombs and Allball each have one. 10-6 your score, the Eagles lead. As Allball will serve once again. This one towards Riddle. Near the net, poked over by Coran. Now McCombs, far side Adams. Great dig by Dalton. Now near side, it's blocked and it'll go down. Point Carson-Newman. Coran with the big swing, but she was met by Cobb and Fisher. Point Eagles, and that will send us into a timeout as Fisher and Cobb combine for the block. 11-6 Eagles. We'll be back on the other side here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Ryan Wilkes with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Carson-Newman riding a 4-0 scoring run to take a 5-point advantage. It's 11-6. As it'll be Carly Allball to serve once again. Fresh off the Emma Grace Cobb and Madison Fisher block to send us into timeout. That one went off the hands hard and went all the way back to the back line, but fell in play. And Allball ready to serve once again, looking to keep the run going for Carson-Newman. First block of the night for either side by Fisher and Cobb, as this one will go out of bounds. Point Limestone. Back-to-back games that serve has played both a big part for Carson-Newman. Also been something they want to iron out a little bit as Mia McMillan checks back in. Emily Cole, who just recently checked in, will check out. As here's Tatum Riddle to serve. Back row for Fisher. Allball sets up near side Adams. Now Allball right back to Adams. She'll go cross court, but it'll go out of bounds. Point Limestone. So a well-called timeout by Brandon Squares. His squad 2 points out of that timeout to cut the deficit to 3. Here's Riddle once again with the serve. Back row McCombs, good reception. Now Allball will dump. Nice job by Limestone. As this one's blocked at the net off the hand of Coran. Now far side. Big swing by McMillan, and it's tipped and down. Point Limestone. So Mia McMillan gets the kill, her second of the night. And just like that, the Limestone Saints within 2. Just able to get it off the hands of Cobb and Fisher. As now it'll go back row to Fisher. Allball racing to keep it alive. Now Hall will have to bump over the free ball. Near side it's Coran. Allball back row dig. Now McCombs far side for Taylor Adams. Off the hand of the middle blocker. Great job by Covey on that back row. And now McMillan bumps it over. Allball far side. Adams tries to put it down, but it goes out of bounds. Not a bad decision by Adams, but not enough room on that far sideline. As she pokes it just past that far sideline. Point Limestone. So a 4-0 run for the Eagles, now a 4-0 run for Limestone, and that will come to a close with the service error by Tatum Riddle. Costly one right there. As Hall checks out, Wheeler back in. Limestone could have tied it up after trailing by 5. But Carson-Newman with a point gets the serve back off the service error by Tatum Riddle. First of the night for Limestone. Fisher serves. Far side set. Now a dump by McMillan. Nice job by Wheeler. Now Wheeler tries to go back row right to Tatum Riddle. Far side. Fisher tries to get to it off the hand of McMillan. And it goes down. Point Limestone. So just like that, Limestone back within 1. Negates that service error. As McMillan, bit of an awkward jump, but was able to get it past the middle blockers and off the hands of Fisher. Here's Covey to serve for the Saints. Fisher bumps towards the net. All ball sets up Cobb, and she'll put it just wide. Point Limestone. All tied up at 12. After Carson-Newman led 11-6, it's been a 6-1 run. Only point for Carson-Newman, the last 7 points has been a service error by Tatum Riddle. So Covey will serve once again. 12-12 your score. All ball, far side for Adams, and she'll put it down on the back corner. Point Carson-Newman. Much needed right there. Timely is Taylor Adams on the kill. As Weaver checks back in for Cobb. Carson-Newman retakes the lead. It's 13-12. Here's Bennett McCombs, already one service ace on the night for her. As this goes towards Riddle. Now poked over, great dig by Allball. And now Wheeler, back row Covey. Dalton sets it up, big swing into net. Great dig by Carson-Newman, now Wheeler. Covey with the dig. Set up far side from McMillan. McCombs, great job once again to keep it alive, now Wheeler. Back row Riddle. Push far side, but I believe they're going to call a carry on Camden Dalton, point Carson-Newman. Costly error there for Limestone on what looked like a nice developing rally right there. Nonetheless, point Carson-Newman. 14-12 the score. Bennett McCombs back to serve once again. And this one goes into the net, point Limestone. 5th service error for the Eagles. As we had a couple subs coming in. It'll be Mia Martinez to check back in, as well as Jenna Zabelski. Zabelski will go serve as Dalton and Coran check out. Zabelski to serve. Limestone trails by 1, 14-13. In a tightly contested set number 1 here at Holt Fieldhouse. Here's Zabelski for the Saints. Back row for Wheeler. All ball sets up Wheeler. She'll put down a big swing and will find the far sideline. Pass the hands of Callie Covey. Point Carson-Newman. Here comes Cherry and Kieran back in for All ball and Adams. As it'll be Blair Cherry to serve. Here's a serve by Cherry. Back row for Covey. Zabelski near the net, far side for Martinez. Fisher back row. Cherry now near the net. Has to try and keep it in play. And it goes towards the scorer's table. Out of play. Point Limestone. Tough play near the net there for Blair Cherry. Tried to set it up near side for Wheeler. Just went a little bit over top of the net. So 15-14 the score. Carson-Newman still out in front. It's now far side for Wheeler. She's blocked and it's down. Point Limestone. It's Caitlin Thompson and Tatum Riddle with the block. As we're all tied up at 15. Here's McMillan to serve. Goes off the top of the net. Nice focus by Wheeler. Now far side for Kieran. Zabelski. Far side it's Riddle. Tipped at the net by the middle blockers and Weaver and Wheeler. As McCombs bumps it towards Julia Wheeler. Great dig there by Covey. As now it's Riddle. Cherry sets up Kieran. She's blocked but is kept alive. Now far side for Julia Wheeler. She'll go cross court and score. Great job by Julia Wheeler. Instead of directly attacking those Limestone middle blockers, she goes cross court, finds some open space on the hardwood. Just poked it over the top of them and found the far side of the court and scored. 16-15 Eagles as Carson-Newman gets the serve back. Impressive run here by Limestone after that timeout called a little while ago. A 9-5 run as Hall serves. Zabelski towards the net. It'll be Thompson to bump it over. Now Cherry sets up Weaver. Covey bumps it far side for Riddle. It's blocked at the net, kept alive. And now it's dumped by Martinez. Cherry sets up near side for Fisher. Great dig by Covey once again. As Zabelski goes far side of Riddle, it's blocked and it will go down. Point Carson-Newman. Second block of the match. This time it's Taylor Kieran and Skylar Weaver combining. As this one deflected at the top of the net, went off a couple Saints and went down. 17-15 Eagles. Here's McKenna Hall once again. Goes back row, Covey. Zabelski far side of Riddle. Pretty far away from the net, but she's able to find that back line and score. Point Limestone. Very competitive first set here at Holt Fieldhouse. Neither team has gained that much of an advantage. The largest lead is Carson-Newman by 5. But Limestone has certainly closed the gap here in set number 1. Here's Caitlin Thompson to serve. Back row Fisher. Cherry has to race to keep it alive. And now McCombs bumps over the free ball. Zabelski sets up in the net for Roy, but she is denied. Block for Carson-Newman. Point Eagles. Skylar Weaver and Taylor Kieran combine once again as Loy didn't stand a chance right there. 18-16 the score. Skylar Weaver will go back to serve. Eagles looking to maybe pull away. Able to do so earlier in the first set. Since then, Limestone has battled back. As now Zabelski towards Martinez and blocked once again. This time, Cobb and Fisher combined for the third time tonight. 19-16 your score after back-to-back blocks for the Eagles. Skylar Weaver goes back to serve once again. Might be the momentum Carson-Newman needed here late in this first set. Far side Tatum Riddle blocked once again, but this time it'll go out of bounds. Point Limestone off the kill by Tatum Riddle. Takes some courage to go after the Eagles after back-to-back blocks, but she did so successfully right there. As Coran checks back in, as well as Dalton. Martinez and Zabelski check out. As Dalton getting ready to serve, a brief stoppage. We'll get back underway, 19-17. Carson-Newman out in front here in the first set. As Cherry sets up for Kieran, goes off the hands of Dalton and down. Point Carson-Newman. 3-point lead for the Eagles as Allball and Adams check back in. Big kill right there for the Eagles. To get back on the scoreboard, hold a 3-point lead, 20-17, as we push towards the end of the first set. Here's a serve for Carly Allball. Covey receives. Set up far side, poked over by Coran. Now Allball far side for Adams. This one set up near the net, poked over, kept alive by the Eagles. Great job by McCombs, who just barely misses the near sideline. Point Limestone. McMillan checks back in. It'll be Cole to check out. Tatum Riddle back to serve. Limestone trails by 2 here in the first set. 10 kills so far for Carson-Newman, 7 for Limestone. As here's a serve by Riddle off the hands of McCombs. She'll keep it alive. Now towards the net, it's Fisher. Tries to poke it over, but she's denied. Great job by Hall to retrieve the free ball, and now Allball has to roll it over. Big swing by McMillan, and she'll put it down and score. Point Limestone. Carson-Newman scrambling a little bit there on that point, and McMillan took advantage of the middle of the court wide open. McMillan able to push it through those middle blockers for Carson-Newman as Riddle tees up the serve again. Allball pushes it near side for Adams. Tipped at the net. Now it goes off the hands of McMillan and down. Point Carson-Newman. A big swing by Adams. It's kept alive for a moment, but McMillan couldn't get there in time. As Julie Wheeler checks in, Hall checks out. Carson-Newman leads by 2 and has the serve. It's Madison Fisher back for Carson-Newman. The serve goes off the top of the net and down. Limestone had its backs turned right there, and Madison Fisher gets the service ace. Third of the set for Carson-Newman. Currently the difference, 3 points on the service ace and a 3-point advantage for Carson-Newman as Fisher to serve once again. This time goes towards the back row. And now a swing by Riddle. She'll put it down and score. Riddle making up for maybe a bad decision to try and play that one, as it looked like if she didn't get a piece of it, it was going to go out of bounds. Made up for it with the kill. She comes up and pushes it through that front line of Carson-Newman defense as it's 22-20. Here's Covey to serve. Back row Fisher. Allball sets up Cobb. She's blocked but is kept alive by Carly Allball. Now near side it's Wheeler. Great job by Dalton to come up. And now blocked at the net is Coran. Point Carson-Newman. Another block for the Eagles. 5th on the night. As Brendan Squares will need a timeout. Carson-Newman leads by 3, needs 2 points to close out the first set right here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman volleyball here on the Eagles Sports Network. Eagles lead 23-20. Ryan Wilkes with you all night long, taking you through all the coverage of tonight's exciting match between Carson-Newman and the Limestone Saints. First set has lived up to the hype, 23-20 between two teams battling it out. The second to last match of the season for Carson-Newman will travel to Anderson later this week to round out the regular season. As McCombs with the serve goes off the hands of Covey, and it will go down. Service ace for Bennett McCombs, and now it's set point for Carson-Newman. So last time after the timeout, Limestone was able to respond to the 4-0 Carson-Newman run, the 4-0 run of its own, but now it's set point. Dalton sets up far side McMillan. She's blocked, kept alive by Covey. Now Dalton will push it towards Riddle and pass the back line. Limestone thought that was tipped, but it was not. Point Carson-Newman, set Eagles. That was a close one right there. Nonetheless, the point goes to Carson-Newman, and set 1 comes to a close. Eagles lead 1-0. We'll be back with set 2 on the other side here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse for the second set. Carson-Newman leads 1-0 here on the Eagles Sports Network. 6 ties, 1 lead change. It was back and forth there early on. Limestone held the early lead. Once Carson-Newman got in front, it did not look back. 25-20 first set victory for the Eagles. 11 kills, only 11 kills in that first set. But 8 attacking errors by Limestone. 5 blocks by the Eagles, and 4 service aces. We talked about this season how that's played a huge role in the Eagles' success, has done so already tonight. Service errors are something the Eagles will look to clean up in the second set. 5 service errors in that first set. But nonetheless, Eagles take set number 1. This will be Carly Allball to serve. Getting ready to go for the second set. 0-0 on the scoreboard as a brand new set ready to get underway. Again, the Eagles 10-6 in South Atlantic Conference play. Limestone 8-9. And the South Atlantic Conference standings are pretty much ironed out at this point. This goes far side, Zabelski blocked at the net is Thompson, but is kept alive by Limestone. Now near side, Taylor Adams. Covey with a great dig on the back row. As this one pushed towards McMillan. As now far side, Fisher's blocked, but Cobb keeps it alive. Right back to Fisher goes Allball. As back row, McMillan keeps it alive. Now Riddle near side. McCombs with the back row dig. Allball sets up Wheeler, but it goes past the back line. Point Limestone. 6th attacking error of the night for the Eagles. Looking at the score sheet, pretty even scoring across the board right now. Taylor Adams leads away for Carson-Newman with 3 kills. Julia Wheeler, Emma Grace Cobb, and Taylor Kieran with 2 apiece. As Riddle serves for the Saints. Far side is Taylor Adams. Off the hands of the middle blocker, kept alive for a moment by Covey. And it goes off the hand of McMillan. Point Carson-Newman. The kill for Taylor Adams, who's now tied for the lead of all scorers with 4 kills. Mia McMillan has 4. Tatum Riddle has 4 on the Limestone side. Adams leads away for Carson-Newman so far as Fisher tees up the serve. Far side is Coran, now towards Riddle. He went off the hand of the middle blocker and down. Point Limestone. So Covey will check out. Back in is Amy Loy for Limestone. Out there right now for the Saints. It's Mia McMillan, Tatum Riddle, Jenna Zabelski, and back to serve right now is Caitlin Thompson. As Allball pokes it towards the net, but nobody home. Point Limestone. 3-1 Saints early here in the second set. This will be Thompson back to serve. Also out there is Loy, who just recently checked in, as well as Josie Coran. As here's the serve from Thompson. Back row for McCombs. Allball bumps it far side. Julia Wheeler will put it down and score. Kill for Wheeler, her 3rd of the night. Point Carson-Newman. McCombs will go back to serve off the kill from Julia Wheeler. Great bump to the far side by Allball. And then Wheeler goes cross court past Tatum Riddle for the point. There's McCombs to serve. Back row Riddle. Zabelski pushes it far side for Coran. Great dig by McCombs to keep it alive. As now here's the dump by Zabelski. Carson-Newman scrambling here. It'll be Taylor Adams to poke it over and score. Point Carson-Newman. All geared by that dig by Bennett McCombs to keep it alive. Carson-Newman able to get the point. Taylor Adams pokes it off the hands of Loy and Zabelski. So we're all tied up at 3. Similar start to the second set. That was the first as McCombs puts this one into the net. A service error for the Eagles at the 6th of the night. 2 subs checking in for Limestone. It's Martinez and Dalton to check in for Zabelski and Coran. Back to serve for Limestone is Dalton. Leading by 1 is Limestone, 4-3. Allball bumps it near side for Adams. Pokes it off the hands of the middle blockers again. Great job by McMillan to keep it alive. So now Allball with the dig. Far side, Julia Wheeler. Off the hands of Riddle. Covey goes to retrieve it. Now McMillan will have to dump over the free ball. Allball sets up Weaver, and she'll poke it over and score. Point Carson-Newman. Kill for Weaver. Bit of an awkward jump there, but she was able to adjust and get the kill as Adams and Allball check out. Cherry and Kieran back in. Here's Blair Cherry back to serve. 4-4 your score. Cherry puts over the serve for Carson-Newman. Back row for Covey. Dalton sets up Martinez, and she's blocked. Taylor Kieran and Skylar Weaver combined. That's 6 now for Carson-Newman early here in this match. The net presence for the Eagles has been there early and often as Cherry puts his serve out of bounds. Point Limestone. 7 service errors for the Eagles tonight, as it'll be McMillan going back to serve. 5-5 your score. Wheeler receives a serve. Cherry far side for Taylor Kieran, who puts it down and scores. Taylor Kieran with the kill. Point Carson-Newman, 3rd kill of the night for Kieran. Cole checks in for McMillan. After that Cherry kill, again the Eagles able to go cross court, finding success there tonight. Kieran does so once again right there. Here's McKenna Hall to serve for the Eagles. 6-5 Eagles lead. Hall goes back row Riddle. Now set up near the net. Martinez is blocked and it's scored. Madison Fisher and Skylar Weaver combined. 7th block for the Eagles tonight. 7-5 Eagles lead. It's been a multitude of different players that time. Weaver and Fisher on the far side of the court combined for the block. As a serve by Hall. Set up at the net for Loy. Great dig by Cherry. As now McCombs bumps it towards Fisher. She'll try and go cross court, but cannot. It goes into the net. Point Limestone. Bit of awkward positioning for Fisher. Tried to go cross court with that one. As now it's 7-6. Covey to serve for Limestone. Very competitive first set. It's looking like the second one will be just the same. As here's a serve from Covey. Back row Hall. Cherry sets up Weaver. She'll poke it over the top of the middle blockers. As now Riddle, big swing, goes off the hands of Weaver and Kieran. Now far side it's Fisher. She's blocked but is kept alive. Now play at the net for Weaver. Goes back row for Cole. Far side, big swing by Loy. As now Cherry sets up Kieran, who pokes it over the top of Riddle and Thompson and scores. Kill for Taylor Kieran. 4 now on the night as the Eagles lead by 2. Kieran went up like she was going to take a hard swing there, but did not. Poked it over the top of Riddle and Thompson. Good attempt by Covey, but couldn't get there. As now Weaver will serve for Carson-Newman, leading 8-6. This one set up for Riddle. Big swing, nice dig by Cherry, but it goes past the back line. Point Limestone. 8-7 the score as Coran checks back in, as well as Zabelski. As Martinez and Dalton check out. Zabelski will go back to serve. 8-7, Carson-Newman out in front. Difference in blocks so far is pretty staggering. 7 for Carson-Newman and 1 for Limestone. As Cherry will set it up far side for Fisher. This one kept alive by Zabelski. Covey far side for Coran. Goes off the hands of Kieran. Point Limestone. Kill for Josie Coran. Her first of the night on her 9th attack. 8-all. Tied back up as Zabelski serves. Pushes it past the far sideline. Point Carson-Newman. Here comes Allball and Kieran back in for Cherry. Should be Allball and Adams check in for Kieran and Cherry. As Carly Allball will serve for Carson-Newman, leading 9-8. First set. 6 ties, 1 lead change. Surely has been more lead changes here in this second set. As Allball will serve, goes off the hands of a Saint, kept alive for a moment, but it will go down. Point Carson-Newman. The service ace for Carly Allball. 5th service ace of the night. Eagles have been pretty boomer busts on the serve so far. 5 aces, but 7 errors so far for the Eagles. As Allball goes back row, it's Riddle. Now Thompson, big swing. Hall tries for the dig, but it goes off her hands into the near side bleachers. Point Saints. Here's McMillan back in for Cole. Big swing there by Thompson. Nice attempt by Hall. Can't quite keep it alive. As the Saints back within 1. Here's Riddle to serve for Limestone. Puts it into the net. Point Carson-Newman. 3rd service error of the night for the Saints. And just like that, Carson-Newman gets a serve right back. All checks out. Wheeler back in. Madison Fisher will go serve for Carson-Newman, leading 11-9. Here's a serve by Madison Fisher. Zabelski sets it up for Coran. McCombs bumps it towards Adams. Adams a big swing. Covey keeps it alive. Now Riddle towards McMillan. She's blocked and it'll go down. Taylor Adams and Emma Grace Cobb combined. Point Carson-Newman. Timeout. Limestone. Carson-Newman leads by 3 after the 8th block of the match that time. It's Cobb and Adams combining. We'll be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. Ryan Wilkes back with you on the Eagle Sports Network. Carson-Newman Volleyball leads 12-9 over Limestone. Out of the timeout, another block for the Eagles, 8th of the night to only 1 for Limestone. Seeing the trend over the past couple weeks, Carson-Newman has been blocked quite a bit, but this time tonight going away from those middle blockers. You see a lot of cross-court attacks, and it's played a part in the Eagles' success so far, leading in sets 1-0, and leading here in set number 2, 12-9. Fisher's serve goes back row. Riddle towards the net for McMillan. Now McCombs. Near side it's Taylor Adams. A big swing. Nice dig by Zabelski. Far side Josie Coran. All ball. Sets it up near side for Adams. Good job adjusting. As now Thompson puts it down for the kill. Caitlin Thompson near the net. Puts it down past the middle blockers. Limestone has not shied away from those hard attacks as Lloyd checks back in. It'll be Thompson to serve for the Limestone Saints. Back row, Bennett McCombs. All ball sets up Wheeler. She'll poke it over the top of the middle blockers. Now Riddle towards the net for Coran. And that goes right down the middle and scored. Nobody home in the middle of the floor for the Eagles, and Limestone 2 quick points out of the timeout. Looked like Adams just took one wrong step in the other direction and could not recover on the kill by Coran. Here's Thompson once again. Back row, Bennett McCombs. All ball sets up near side, Taylor Adams. Big swing, and it's tipped. The net judge says, point Carson-Newman. Here's Kylie Martinez checking back in for Caitlin Thompson. She's now donning the pink uniform. It looks like Covey might be getting checked down on the sideline. Bennett McCombs to serve. Carson-Newman leads 13-11. This one set up near side. It's McMillan who pokes it over off a couple hands and down. Point Limestone. A kill by McMillan, her 5th of the night. Here comes Dalton and Martinez back in. It's Mia Martinez. So Kylie Martinez and Mia Martinez out there right now for the Saints, trailing by 1. As here's Camden Dalton to serve. All ball sets up Wheeler. Wheeler pushes it over, back row for Dalton. Martinez, far side to Mia Martinez, and she scores to tie this one up at 13. Bit of a run at the timeout for the Saints. We now tie this set up at 13 apiece. Here's Dalton with the serve. Back row, Bennett McCombs. All ball sets up far side Wheeler. She's blocked, but they're going to call a violation on Julia Wheeler nonetheless. That would have been a point for Limestone. Regardless, on the block on the far side, Julia Wheeler gets a piece of the net up top. Looks like a clean block regardless by Martinez and Loy. 14-13, Limestone back in front for the first time in a little bit as Allball sets up Weaver, and she'll put it down near the back line. Much needed point for Carson-Newman, breaking a 3-0 scoring run. 14-all, as here comes Kieran and Cherry back in for Adams and Allball. Blair Cherry will serve, all tied up at 14 here in the second set. Carson-Newman took set number 1, 25-20, as here's a serve from Cherry. Dalton sets up far side from McMillan. They dig by McCombs, but it goes out of bounds, point Limestone. Saints right there in this second set, similar to where they were in set number 1. Definitely more lead changes here in the second set, only 1 in set number 1. But 6 ties, definitely been more again here in the second set. As McMillan serves, back row Fisher. Down near the net, it's Weaver who goes cross court. Again, avoiding those middle blockers and Riddle and Loy, and she scores. 15-all as here comes McKenna Hall back in for Julia Wheeler. See Weaver able to avoid that presence at the net by going opposite of them. As it's 15-all, McKenna Hall will serve for Carson-Newman. Dalton sets up for Riddle, goes off the hands of Kieran and down. Point Limestone. Saints back out in front by 1. As it'll be Kylie Martinez to serve again now, donning that libero jersey. As Riddle that time able to go a little bit away from Taylor. Kieran gets a piece of her hand and she scores. Serve for Kylie Martinez, goes back row for Bennett McCombs. Now set up for Kieran, she's blocked but is kept alive by Cherry. McCombs bumps set to Kieran. Great job on that back row by McMillan. Now it's Riddle. Off the hands of Cherry, kept alive. Hall bumped towards the net for Fisher, and she puts it down. Point Carson-Newman. Great job on the digs by Carson-Newman. That time Hall bumped it all the way far side for Fisher. Able to get it off the hands of the middle blockers, and she scores to tie this one up at 16. Skylar Weaver will serve for Carson-Newman. Here's the serve from Weaver. Dalton sets up far side. Mia Martinez tries to poke it over, but it goes into the top of the net. Point Carson-Newman. That presence at the net maybe starting to get in the head of the Saints a little bit. Again, 8 blocks through almost 2 sets for Carson-Newman. Only 1 for Limestone. Talked to head coach Ashley Turner after the win over Coker. Now the Eagles try to attack those middle blockers, and tonight seems like they're trying to go cross court a lot more as Dalton sets up near side. Riddle right on cue. Another block for Carson-Newman. It's Cobb and Kieran. Point Eagles. 9 blocks on the night for the Eagles as Carson-Newman's back out in front by 2. Weaver to serve once again for the Eagles. Back row for Kylie Martinez. Dalton pushes it towards the net for Mia Martinez, but too strong on the attack. Goes back row. As actually now they're going to say it was tipped by the Eagles. So point Limestone. The back judge had that call right there. As Karan and Zabelski check back in for Mia Martinez and Camden Dalton. Zabelski will serve after the point by Limestone. 18-17, Eagles out in front. Back row Fisher. Cherry bumps towards the net. It's Fisher. I'm not sure if that was blocked or if it was in the net. Nonetheless, point Saints. 18-all as Limestone able to respond to whatever Carson-Newman has thrown at it here in the second set. As Cherry sets up Cobb. This time she is blocked but is kept alive. But McCombs bumps towards Fisher, but she'll push it past the back line. Point Saints. 19-18 the score, and Ashley Tiernan will call her first time out of the match so far. Limestone leads by 1. Carson-Newman looks to respond on the other side here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman trails by 1 here on the Eagle Sports Network, as it'll be Zabelski to serve. Carson-Newman trails 19-18. Cherry sets up near side. It's Kieran, kept alive on the block, as Cherry pushes it towards Fisher. Now Zabelski towards Riddle. Big swing off the hands of McCombs into the far side bleachers. Point Limestone. 20-18 the score. Now a 4-0 scoring run for the Saints. Trying to turn the tables a little bit after Carson-Newman led 18-16. Back row Hall. Cherry sets up far side for Fisher. Now Zabelski sets up for Coran. Tipped around. Carson-Newman keeps alive, but a kill for Josie Coran. And 5 straight points for the Saints, leading 21-18. Third kill for Coran. As now Zabelski will serve once again. This one towards Madison Fisher. Cherry bumps it back towards Fisher. Kylie Martinez with the dig. Now Zabelski far side. Coran will score. Back-to-back kills for Josie Coran. And Ashley Tiernan will use her second timeout in the second set. A 6-0 run for Limestone, leading 22-18. We'll be right back here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman Volleyball here on the Eagle Sports Network. Limestone has turned the tide here in the second set, leading now 22-18 after trailing 18-16. So 6 straight points for Limestone to take the 22-18 advantage, and now needing 3 points to tie this one up at 1 apiece. Carson-Newman will need a late push here in the second set. Zabelski tees up the serve, goes off the hands of Fisher. Cherry keeps it alive. And now 4 touches on the Carson-Newman side. Point Limestone. So a service ace for Jenna Zabelski. First of the night for the Saints. Now leading by 5. Zabelski's serve goes back row from McCombs. Cherry sets up Cobb. She pushes it far sideline and scores. Point Carson-Newman, much needed, breaking a 7-0 Limestone scoring run. And now Carson-Newman will look to keep the serve for a little while, as Allball and Adams check back in for Cherry and Kieran. That'll be Carly Allball to serve. Carson-Newman trails by 4. As it looks like Limestone is going to use a timeout, maybe to regroup here before trying to close out set 2. Limestone leads 23-19. Carson-Newman will have the serve on the other side here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here on the Eagle Sports Network, Carson-Newman trails 23-19 here in the second set. This will be Carly Allball to serve for the Eagles. Again, Carson-Newman looking to keep that serve for a little while here, as Limestone 2 points away from tying this match up at 1 set apiece. Here's Carly Allball to serve. Back row for Kylie Martinez. Zabelski bumps it towards the net. It's Tatum Riddle. Riddle goes into the net, point Eagles. Again, you can see Limestone trying to start to avoid those middle blockers. Couldn't do so right there on the attack by Riddle. Again, Carson-Newman's presence at the net has been felt early and often tonight with 9 blocks. Here's Allball once again. Eagles still trail by 3. Zabelski pushes it towards Coran. Back row McCombs. Now Allball near side Adams, and she is blocked. Point Saints. That's Riddle and Thompson combining at the top of the net right there. See Adams trying to go right through, but could not. Big point for Limestone. It'll be Riddle to serve, and it goes off the hands of Hall, a service ace to close out the second set. Limestone takes it by the same score that Carson-Newman took set number 1, 25-20. We're all tied up at 1 set apiece on the other side for set number 3 here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman and Limestone all tied up at 1 set apiece. Pretty similar first 2 sets. Limestone able to pull away a little bit there at the end. Carson-Newman takes set 1, 25-20. And Limestone, a little bit of a mirror effect, takes set 2, 25-20 as well. So far tonight, 16 ties, 6 in set 1, 10 in set 2, and 4 lead changes in that second set. 5 lead changes total on the night, so it's about as back and forth as it can be between these two sides. Limestone able to use a 6-1 run to kind of pull away a little bit there in the second set, as Carson-Newman will look to respond. All tied up at 1 as both teams back out on the floor here at Holt Fieldhouse. As I mentioned earlier, kind of an interesting storyline coming into tonight. Limestone head coach Brandon Squares, 10th year with Limestone as head coach, and it's been about a 500 campaign for him. 111 and 112 all time. So looking for possibly his 112th win to make him 500 in his career as head coach. As Riddle serve goes on the back line, a service ace to start off set 3, 1-0 Limestone. Here's Riddle to serve once again for the Saints. McCombs receives on the back row. Cherry sets up near side. Kieran off the hands of Coran and down. Point Carson-Newman. McKenna Hall checks back in for Julia Wheeler, and she'll go serve for Carson-Newman. 1-1 very early here in set 3. These two teams have gone back and forth tonight. Two pretty evenly matched squads here in the South Atlantic Conference. As the Hall serve goes back row. Riddle now McMillan, a big swing. Goes off the hands of McCombs and out of bounds. Point Limestone. A kill from Mia McMillan, up to 7 on the night. Her and Tatum Riddle have been the go-to offensive weapons tonight for Limestone. 8 kills for Riddle, 7 for McMillan. Taylor Adams and Taylor Kieran up top for Carson-Newman. 6 for Adams, 5 for Kieran. As here's the serve by Johnson. Cherry pushes it far side. Kieran off the hands of Coran and down. Point Carson-Newman. A kill for Taylor Kieran, her 6th of the night. Now tying Carson-Newman at the top of the score sheet. As it'll be Skylar Weaver to serve. Caitlin Thompson checks out. Kieran again going cross court. The Eagles have had a lot of success doing that tonight. Here's Weaver to serve. This one goes near the front of the net. As Coran pushes it over and scores. Josie Coran with the kill. As McCombs checks back in, it'll be Weaver to check out. Weaver went with a bit of a shorter serve there. It was taken care of by Coran near the net. Here's Dalton back to serve for the Saints. For the back row for Fisher. Nice job receiving that one, but now Fisher can't get to her feet in time. It goes right over her head and down. Another point for Limestone off the serve by Dalton. As Limestone leads by 2, 4-2. Here's the serve by Dalton. Back row Fisher. Cherry sets up near the net for Kieran, who puts it down and scores. Taylor Kieran with a big kill. We get Carson-Newman the serve back as she'll check out, as well as Bennett McCombs. Blair Cherry. Adams and all ball back in. It's a huge swing by Taylor Kieran right at the peak of her jump. Goes right through 2 Limestone middle blockers and past the hands of Camden Dalton. As Carson-Newman is back on the scoreboard, it's 4-3. All ball back row. Now set up for McMillan. Off the hands of McCombs and Hall as it's kept alive by Fisher. But now they're going to whistle it dead. Went over that top post. Great job by Hall and McCombs to keep that alive. Great hustle. But it is whistled dead. Point Limestone. 5-3, Saints out in front. As here's McMillan back to serve once again. Back row Hall. Hall ball sets up far side Cobb, and she'll push it wide. Pass the near sideline. Point Saints. Good start for Limestone here in this third set, leading 6-3. It's a big set here. Carson-Newman trying to respond. One set apiece. As we're early here in set number 3. Towards the net for all ball. Now Fisher just has to roll it over. Carson-Newman looking to reset. Boyd pokes it over. Now all ball near side Fisher. Block attempt, but he's kept alive for a moment. And now Riddle with a big swing. Back row dig for Hall. All ball pushes it near side. Fisher puts a swing on it and scores. Goes off the hands of a couple Saints. McMillan can't quite get to it, and Carson-Newman gets a big point right there. As Wheeler will check back in for Hall. It will be Madison Fisher to serve, fresh off the kill. 3 kills for Madison Fisher tonight. Also has a service ace to her name. 6-4 the score. Here's a serve from Fisher. Back row for Kylie Martinez. Now far side Riddle. Back row dig for McCombs. Fisher pushes it towards the net, but they're going to call a carry on her. Point Limestone. 7-4 Saints. Kylie Martinez will serve. As I mentioned earlier, Covey had to check out. Martinez to put on the pink libero jersey, and she pushes the serve past the back line. Point Eagles. Here comes Weaver back in for Emma Grace Cobb. 7-5, Limestone out in front here early. And Carson-Newman has been fairly unbeatable here at home. 7-1 on the season. The only loss in 5 sets to Wingate, who sits atop the South Atlantic Conference, as McCombs' serve goes off the hands of Kylie Martinez and down. Service ace for Bennett McCombs, 6th on the night for the Eagles. The 3rd service ace for McCombs so far tonight. She'll tee up the serve once again, and this one goes into the net. An error for Bennett McCombs, point Limestone. Here comes Coran and Zabelski back in for Dalton and Mia Martinez. And it'll be Zabelski to serve. 8-6, Limestone out in front. Here's the serve from Zabelski. Back row Fisher, all ball sets up far side, Taylor Adams. Off the hands of the middle blockers, back row for Emily Cole. Zabelski sets up Thompson, and it hits the back referee. And out of bounds, point Carson-Newman. Here's Kieran and Cherry back in for all ball and Adams, as it'll be Blair Cherry to serve. 8-7, Saints out in front by 1. Here's the serve from Blair Cherry. Back row for Kylie Martinez. Zabelski sets up in the middle for Coran. Back row McCombs. Now Cherry pushes it far side for Kieran, as Coran keeps it alive. Now near side is Josie Coran, who puts it down in front of Madison Fisher. Point Limestone. 9-7, Saints out in front, as here comes Mia McMillan in for Emily Cole. And you see Coran trying to do what the Eagles have been doing successfully tonight. Trying to go cross court a little bit, avoiding that presence at the net by Carson-Newman, who has 9 blocks on the night. As a Riddle serve set up for Kieran, as she bumps it. They're going to say it's out of bounds. It looked like that one fell in play nonetheless. Called point Limestone. Kieran just trying to get it over there. It was a waiting game to see whether that was going to drop in or out of play, and according to the back judge, it falls just wide of the near sideline. Here's Riddle to serve, back row for Wheeler. Cherry sets up near side Kieran. She's blocked by Coran and Thompson. Point Limestone. Timeout Carson-Newman, trailing 11-7. After the block, Carson-Newman getting a taste of its own medicine here in the 3rd set, trailing by 4. We'll be back on the other side here on the Eagle Sports Network. Limestone leads 11-7 here on the Eagle Sports Network. A 3-0 run for the Saints, as it'll be Tatum Riddle to serve for Limestone. Nice job out of the gate by the Saints to kind of hop on top of this set, as Tatum Riddle will tee up the serve. Only a 3rd block of the game for Limestone right before the timeout, as this one will go into the net. A service error for Tatum Riddle, and the Eagles will get the serve back. Wheeler checks out, Hall back in, and she'll retreat to serve. Here's Hall to serve for the Eagles. Back row for Kylie Martinez. As McMillan gets it over, but Hall with a great dig. Now McCombs will have to roll over the free ball. Zabelski tips it over, but they're going to call a violation on Jenna Zabelski. Back-to-back points for Carson-Newman. Out of the timeout. Now the Eagles within 2. Hall will serve once again. looking to respond to Limestone's hot start here in set 3 with a bit of a run of their own. As Hall with the serve, Zabelski sets up near the net. It's blocked, bounce around, and point Carson-Newman. Another block for the Eagles. It's Kieran and Skylar Weaver. That is now 10 on the night for the Carson-Newman Eagles. 11-10 your score. Hall to serve once again. Carson-Newman now on its own 3-0 scoring run as this serve will go down right in front of Kylie Martinez. Point Carson-Newman. Perfectly timed timeout by Ashley Tiernan, getting her team settled down a little bit. And Carson-Newman now 4 points out of that timeout. As here's a serve from Hall. Zabelski pushes it towards the net for Coran, and she'll miss the far sideline by a hair. Point Carson-Newman. Just missed to Josie Coran trying to go cross court. And now Limestone will need a timeout. Carson-Newman using 5 consecutive points to retake the lead. It's 12-11. We'll be back on the other side on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here on the Eagle Sports Network, Carson-Newman leads 12-11, using a 5-0 scoring run to retake the lead. Limestone calls the timeout. We'll see how they come out of this timeout. Carson-Newman able to come out of the last timeout called by Ashley Tiernan. 5 consecutive points. As here's McKenna Hall to serve once again. Goes back row, Kylie Martinez. McMillan retrieves it. Now Riddle will have to get it over. It'll go far past the back line. Point Eagles. A 6-0 scoring run for the Eagles. As Hall will serve once again. 13-11 your score. Eagles out in front. Here's the serve from Hall. Back row for Riddle. Goes off her hands and down. Service ace. McKenna Hall, 8th of the night for Carson-Newman. Now it's 14-11. 7 straight points for the Carson-Newman Eagles. Starting to take some control here in this third set. All tied up at 1 after back-to-back 25-20 sets. One going each way as Riddle receives a serve. Zabelski sets up McMillan near the net. Back row dig for Hall. Now Cherry far side. Fisher is blocked. It's Coran and Thompson ending that 7-0 run. It's now 14-12 Eagles. Limestone gets the serve back. It's Caitlin Thompson to serve, fresh off the block assist. As here's the serve from Thompson. Eagles lead by 2. Back row McCombs goes off her hands and down. Point Limestone. 14-13 the score after the service ace by Caitlin Thompson. Just like that, Limestone starting to crawl back into it after it seemed like all the momentum was with the Eagles. Limestone able to respond. As here's the next serve from Thompson. Back row from McCombs. Cherry sets up Kieran, who puts it down and scores. Taylor Kieran with the kill. Point Carson-Newman. Off of Taylor Kieran's 8th kill of the night. Tied for the lead of all scorers. Great set by Cherry Kieran, able to put it down, no problem. As the serve goes back to Carson-Newman, leading by 2. As here's Skylar Weaver. Here's a serve from Weaver. Back row for Kylie Martinez. Zabelski pushes it far side for McMillan. Big swing and scores. Point Saints. Here comes Mia Martinez and Camden Dalton back in. As McKenna Hall checks in for Skylar Weaver. 15-14, Carson-Newman still out in front. This match expected to be close, and it's been nothing but that all game long as Camden Dalton tees up the serve. Fisher receives, Cherry towards the net. Madison Fisher tries to poke it across court, but it's into the net. An attacking error for the Eagles. And now all tied up again at 15. So Limestone able to negate that 7-0 run by Carson-Newman and retie this one up at 15 apiece. Dalton serves towards Fisher. Now a big swing for Kieran, who scores once again. Taylor Kieran on fire tonight. 9 kills as she'll sub out, as well as Blair Cherry. It's all ball and Adams back in. Taylor Kieran scorching hot tonight. That time on the far side of the court, able to push it through those middle blockers and score for the Eagles, giving Carson-Newman the lead back. Here's Carly Allball with the serve. It's Riddle that receives. Now Dalton pushes it towards McMillan, and she scores. Back and forth we go here at Holt Fieldhouse. Both teams executing at a high level here in this one. 10 blocks for the Eagles so far. That's been a big storyline tonight. As McMillan serves. Allball sets up Adams, who puts it down. Taylor Adams with the kill. 7 now on the night. Again, didn't see too much of her the other night against Coker. But she's been a huge impact tonight as Hall checks out. Wheeler back in. Right at that Carson-Newman logo at midcourt. Pushes it past those middle blockers and scores. Give Carson-Newman the 1-point advantage. Here's Fisher to serve. Back row, Kylie Martinez. Dalton sets it up near side. Mia Martinez. The dig by Adams kept alive. Cobb able to push it over, but it goes out of bounds. Point Limestone. 17-17 here in set 3. It's a huge set for both sides, all tied up at 1. Side respectively trying to get a set advantage. As Kylie Martinez serves, all ball pushes it far side. Taylor Adams, she's blocked. It's Coran and Thompson, Riddle and Thompson that time combining for the block. As Adams tried to go right through them, Thompson and Riddle. That's something to say about that. 18-17 Limestone. As Kylie Martinez serves once again, Allball sets up Wheeler, who puts it down and scores. Point Carson-Newman off the kill by Julia Wheeler. 4th kill of the night for Wheeler. As McCombs goes back to serve. 18 all. As you see right there, Julia Wheeler going right through them off the hands of Mia McMillan. 18 apiece here in set 3. As McCombs serve goes back row. Now Riddle far side. Nice dig by Fisher. Kept alive by Allball. Wheeler will poke it over. Now Allball trying to recover far side. Mia Martinez with a big swing, but she is blocked by Julia Wheeler and Skylar Weaver. 11th block for Carson-Newman. See Allball running all the way to get back in position. Looked like Mia Martinez was trying to attack right there, but did not have success. There's McCombs to serve. Kylie Martinez receives. Dalton sets up Thompson, goes off the hands of Fisher, and scores. I think regardless, it was a violation on Carson-Newman. Nonetheless, all tied up at 19 as Dalton and Martinez check back out. Coran and Zabelski back in for the Limestone Saints. 19-19, both teams fighting hard for the 3rd set. We'll see who can pull it out. Zabelski to serve. This one bumped towards the net. Easy play for Riddle, who found herself wide open over top of the net. And Limestone retakes the lead, 20-19. Timeout, Ashley Tiernan and Carson-Newman. 20-19 your score. Limestone leads, and it will have the serve on the other side here on the Eagles Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman trails Limestone 20-19 late in set 3. As it'll be Jenna Zabelski to serve once again for the Saints. Tight match here at Holt Fieldhouse. It's been so all night long. As both teams go back and forth. Here's Jenna Zabelski to serve. Back row, Julia Wheeler. Carly Allbaugh sets up Wheeler. Down the middle, goes off the hands of Kylie Martinez. And down. Point Eagles. Off the kill by Julia Weaver. As now Cherry and Kieran back in. Allbaugh and Adams out. It'll be Cherry to serve. 20 apiece. Here's we crawl towards the late part of set 3. Blair Cherry ready to go after tying her shoe. She'll tee up the serve. This one goes down off the hands of Kylie Martinez. Point Carson-Newman. 9th service ace of the night. This time it's Blair Cherry. 21-20. Eagles lead off the serve. As it'll be Cherry to serve once again. Brief stoppage. Somebody having to tie their shoes as we're back ready to go. 21-20. Carson-Newman out in front, retaining the serve off the Blair Cherry service ace. Back row Riddle. Zabelski pokes it towards Thompson, who scores. Caitlin Thompson with the kill. As we're all tied up back at 21. Tatum Riddle will go back to serve. 21-21. Both teams fighting it out here in the third set. As this one goes past the back line. Service error for Limestone, a costly one. Carson-Newman now leads 22-21. Here's Julia Wheeler to serve. Eagles out in front by 1, trying to close this one out and regain the set advantage. Zabelski sets up near side for Coran, blocked but kept alive by McMillan. Far side's McMillan again. Now Cherry with the dump. Nice job by McMillan to keep it alive. And Zabelski will poke it over. Now Kieran. Zabelski with the dig. Now Kylie Martinez. Near side for Coran. Cherry down the middle for Wheeler. The dig by Riddle kept alive. Now Martinez will have to roll over the free ball. Cherry sets up far side of Weaver, and it's down. Off the hands of Thompson and McMillan, and scored. Skylar Weaver ended that point emphatically with the kill. Now a timeout for Limestone. 23-21. Eagles on the cusp of victory here in set 3. As Weaver gets the kill, sends us into timeout here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse, Carson-Newman leads 23-21 and has the serve. Late in this third set, trying to regain that set advantage. It was 1-0 Carson-Newman. Limestone fights back with the second set win, and now Carson-Newman looking to close out set number 3. Leading by 2, it'll be Julia Wheeler to serve for the Eagles. Here's a serve, goes back row for Kylie Martinez. Zabelski towards Coran. Back row dig for Cherry. Now Kieran will poke it over. Zabelski sets up far side McMillan. Now it's McCombs, far side Weaver. Now near the net, it's Fisher who puts it down and scores. The bump by the back row of Limestone went a little too hard off the hands, and Madison Fisher able to dunk it down and score. See that bump near the net. Limestone trying to retrieve it. Easy work for Madison Fisher. Now it's set point for Carson-Newman. Served by Wheeler. Back row for Riddle. Zabelski bumps it towards McMillan. McCombs back row. Cherry pushes it towards Fisher. A big swing. Kylie Martinez with a nice dig. Now the dump by Zabelski off the hands of McCombs. Great dig by Julia Wheeler on the back row. Now Weaver with the big swing. The block goes out of bounds. Point Carson-Newman. Set 3 goes to the Eagles, and Carson-Newman leads 2-1. A hard-fought third set, back and forth. We went in that third set. We'll get to the numbers on the other side here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back at Holt Fieldhouse for set number 4. Ryan Wilkes with you here on the Eagle Sports Network. Carson-Newman leads 2-1, taking that one 25-21. All night the theme has been tie scores and lead changes, and that continued in the third set. 10 ties, 5 lead changes between the two sides. Now 26 ties on the night. But Carson-Newman able to use a late run to pull away there in that third set, leading 2-1, looking to close it out in 4. Ready to go for the fourth set. As Limestone will look to respond, Brandon Squares pretty fired up during that break, as he looks to have his team ready to go. Looking at the stats again, 26 ties on the night, 10 lead changes, as both these teams battling it out in the South Atlantic Conference. It looks like, again, those standings are going to stay the same throughout the rest of the season, but Carson-Newman's got a big match coming up here in a couple of days, heading to Anderson, who sits in second. Anderson, if looking to gain the top spot in the South Atlantic Conference, ought to bank on a Wingate loss and winning out in the rest of the season. So here's Blair Cherry to serve. Back row it goes. Now it's Riddle, big swing, and she'll score. Tatum Riddle with the kill to start off this fourth set, now 10 on the night. Mia McMillan with 10, as well as Tatum Riddle for Carson-Newman. Taylor Kieran leads away with 9, Taylor Adams with 7, Skylar Weaver with 6, and Julie Wheeler with 5. One goes back row McComb, shot to bump over the free ball. Now Zabelski sets up near side McMillan. Cherry pushes it far side for Wheeler, who swings, and it goes out of bounds, I believe. Point Limestone. 2-0 Limestone to start off this fourth set. Talked about the scoring for Carson-Newman. It's about as spread out as it could be. 9 kills for Kieran, 7 for Adams, 6 for Weaver, 5 for Wheeler, 4 for Fisher, and 3 for Cobb. So pretty spread out as we head into this fourth set. As the set awkwardly goes towards Kieran, she'll bump it over. Now Zabelski looking for Coran, and she puts it in the net. Point Carson-Newman. Pretty even scoring for both sides so far in terms of kills, 34 apiece. Is that one an error on Josie Coran as Taylor Adams checks back in. McKenna Hall checks out. It'll be Julia Wheeler to serve. Back row for Riddle. Zabowski sets up Thompson, who's blocked and is down. Block for Weaver and Kieran, 12th on the night for Carson-Newman. It's been a huge point of emphasis for Carson-Newman tonight. As Limestone's gone right out the Eagles, but the Eagles have responded with 12 blocks so far. The serve for Wheeler goes back row for Riddle. Zabowski sets up Thompson. Now McCombs bumps it towards Skylar Weaver. Big swing. We're going to call a violation on Limestone. Point Carson-Newman. 3-2. Eagles lead a 3-0 run after trailing 2-0. As Wheeler will serve once again. Here's a serve by Julia Wheeler. Back row for Kylie Martinez. Zabelski pokes it towards the net. Kieran keeps it alive. Cherry now sets up Weaver. Off the hands of Zabelski. And now Riddle pokes it towards Coran. Awkward set. Goes near the net. Point Carson-Newman. 4-2 Eagles. Limestone's been a little sloppy after that 2-0 start. Another error right there. Here's Julia Wheeler teeing up the serve. Back row Riddle. Now Weaver tries to duck it down but cannot. Goes off the top of the net. Point Limestone. Thompson back to serve. Limestone trails 4-3. It's a 4-0 run for Carson-Newman. Ended there by the error by Skylar Weaver. Thompson's serve goes past the back line. Service error for Limestone. Point Carson-Newman. It'll be Taylor Kieran to serve for the Eagles. As McCombs will check out. 5-3 Carson-Newman out in front in set number 4. Kieran's serve goes to Kylie Martinez. This one bumped towards Riddle. Big swing for Riddle. Nice dig by Wheeler. Now it'll be Julia Wheeler to roll it over. Nice dig by Riddle. Far side Coran. Wheeler sets up Adams. Big swing. She's blocked and it's down. Block for Thompson. Loy and Coran. Checking in is Mia Martinez as well as Camden Dalton. After the big block, Limestone's 6th of the night. 5-4, Eagles lead. Here's a serve from Dalton. Back row Wheeler, Cherry. Sets up for Weaver. She's able to poke it over. Now Dalton towards Riddle. Big swing for Riddle. Goes off a couple hands. Stays in play for a moment, but goes into the opposite bleachers. Point Limestone. A kill for McMillan. And we're all tied up at 5. Actually, that was Riddle right there to get the kill. Went off the hands of McCombs. As now Cherry sets up Adams' far side. Dalton sets up Mia Martinez. Big swing and she scores. It's been a game of runs here in this 4th set. Limestone got up to a 2-0 start. Carson-Newman used 4 points of his own. And now, a bit of a run for the Saints. Here's a serve for Dalton. Adams receives. Cherry sets up near side for Weaver. Big swing and she scores. Past the hands of Riddle and Dalton. As here's all ball. And checking in for the first time, I believe Molly Langford will check in. Big swing by Skylar Weaver, who scores her 8th kill tonight. Breaking a 3-0 Limestone scoring run. Here's Carly Allball to serve for the Eagles. As Dalton sets up Mia Martinez, she's blocked. It was either a block or right into the net. Nonetheless, point Carson-Newman. Really will be attacking error on Limestone. So 7-6, Carson-Newman out in front. So Molly Langford in for the first time. She's near the net with Taylor Kieran and Taylor Adams. As here's all ball serve. Back row, Kylie Martinez. Dalton sets up Mia Martinez. All ball with the set far side for Adams. She's blocked but is kept alive. And they're going to call a violation on Taylor Adams. Point Limestone. 7 all have had quite a few ties here in this fourth set. 26 through the first 3. As McMillan will serve. This one put right into the net, a service error for Limestone. Now 8 apiece between the two teams. As it's 8-7, Carson-Newman. Hall checks in for Adams. Cole will check in for McMillan. 8-7, Eagles out in front by 1. Trying to close this one out in 4 sets. Limestone certainly has not made it easy tonight. 3 tightly contested sets as we move into set 4. Dalton will set up, Riddle near side. All ball pushes it towards Wheeler. Cole back row dig, now Dalton towards Mia Martinez. It's tipped around and scored. Mia Martinez with the kill. As here comes Thompson back in for Loy. It'll be Kylie Martinez to serve for the Saints. 8 all here pretty early in this 4th set. Hall receives, all ball sets up Cobb, who's blocked but is kept alive. Now Wheeler tries to go cross court. Nice shot by Riddle to keep it alive. Now Dalton towards Tatum. Riddle pushes it past the far sideline. Attacking error for Limestone. Point Carson-Newman. 9-8, Eagles out in front as Taylor Kieran checks in for Emma Grace Cobb. I've talked about it a little bit tonight. Carson-Newman looking to keep its impressive home record alive here this season. 7-1, looking to make it 8-1 as McComb serves for the Eagles. Dalton sets up Thompson, big swing, and she'll score. Off the hands of Carly Allball. Kill by Thompson as Coran checks back in, as well as Zabelski. It'll be Dalton and Martinez out. Big swing by Thompson off the hands of Allball, and just like that, all tied up back at 9. Here's a serve for Zabelski. Back row for Wheeler. Now Julia Wheeler tries to go cross court. The dig by Riddle. Now Zabelski sets up Riddle, who's blocked, but it goes out of bounds. Point Limestone. Limestone looking to push this to 5 sets. Certainly have the capability of doing so. Shown it all night long. All 3 of the sets so far could have gone either way. Carson-Newman takes the first 25-20. Limestone 25-20 in set 2. And then Carson-Newman 25-21 in set 3. Julia Wheeler gets it over for the Eagles. Zabelski sets up Thompson. She's blocked, but it's kept alive. Kylie Martinez towards Tatum Riddle. Another block. And now it's tipped around and down. Limestone had a chance to recover that, but could not. An error on the Saints. 10-10 your score. Langford checks out. Weaver and Cherry back in, as well as Allball should check out. 10-10. As here's Blair Cherry. Back row Martinez. Now Thompson tries to poke it over. Kept alive by Kieran. Cherry sets up far side Wheeler. Zabelski now far side for Coran. Off the hands of Cherry. Back row Hall. Bumps it towards the net for Wheeler. Nice recovery by Carson-Newman. As Zabelski sets up Coran off the hands of Hall and down. Point Limestone. Coran's had a nice night out there. 7 kills now in 25 attacks. Scoring's been pretty spread out for the Saints as well. 5 top scorers. Caitlin Thompson with 5. Mia Martinez with 6. Jersey Coran with 7. Mia McMillan with 10. And Tatum Riddle with 12. Near side it's Wheeler. She'll put it down and score. Kill for Julia Wheeler. As right, all tied up at 11. Wheeler with a big swing right through the hands of Thompson. As now Julia Wheeler will serve. Set, nobody's really been able to pull ahead here in this 4th set. It's been pretty even so far. Zabelski pushes it towards McMillan. Block attempt by Weaver and Kieran, but it goes down. The kill by McMillan, and Limestone gets the serve back. 12-11 your score as Caitlin Thompson goes back to serve. Here's the serve from Thompson. Back row McCombs. Cherry sets up far side Adams. She'll put it into the net. Point Saints. The biggest lead for Limestone since it was 2-0. As we'll have a new sub checking in for the Saints. It's Elena Hansen checking in, the freshman out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. She'll come in to serve. 13-11, Saints out in front. Looking to push this to 5 sets. Here's a serve. Cherry sets up Weaver. Big swing past the back line. Point Saints. Bit of a run here for Limestone. A 3-0 scoring run. Go ahead by 3. Biggest lead of this 4th set for the Saints. Here's a serve. Cherry sets up for Kieran, who scores. 2 Saints collide on the back row. It's Hansen and Zabelski who run into each other. As Kylie Martinez will check back in, Hansen checks out. Big point for the Eagles, breaking that 3-0 scoring run. As here's a serve from Taylor Kieran. Zabelski sets up far side. Coran pokes it over the top of Cobb and Adams and scores. Here comes Dalton and Mia Martinez in for Coran and Zabelski. Limestone leads by 3. As it'll be Dalton back to serve. Here's a serve for Dalton. Cherry sets up far side. Taylor Adams. Now Dalton near the net for Loy. Kept alive by Cherry. McCombs pushes it far side for Taylor Adams, who goes cross court. High up into the air by Kylie Martinez. Now Riddle. Great dig by Wheeler, but nobody home on the far side. Point Limestone. 16-12 your score. It looks like Ashley Tiernan is going to call a timeout. Limestone leads by 4, trying to push this to 5 sets. We'll be right back. You're on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here at Holt Fieldhouse, Limestone leads set 4, 16-12. Looking to push this to a decisive 5th set. Ryan Wilkes with you here on the Eagle Sports Network, as it'll be Camden Dalton back to serve. Early in the month of November, it's been quite a fall for Eagle Athletics. Just came out with the top 10 plays of the month of October. If you want to go check that out on our YouTube or on our social medias, as Dalton will serve. This one's poked around and a violation on Carson-Newman. Service ace for Limestone. Here's Madison Fisher back in for Taylor Adams. Carson-Newman maybe in a bit of trouble here in this 4th set. Limestone in control right now. Its biggest lead of the 4th set sits at 5. Cherry sets up Cobb, who puts it in the net. Point Limestone. 18-12 the score. Saints out in front. Dalton will retreat to serve once again. Limestone 2 points out of the Carson-Newman timeout. Dalton's serve goes into the net. Much needed point for Carson-Newman. 18-13 now. Here come Langford and Allball back in for Weaver and Cherry. As it'll be Allball to serve. Eagles trail by 5. It's 18-13. Breaking a 4-0 scoring drought. Limestone 4 points in a row. Here's a serve from Carly Allball. Dalton sets up near the net. Big swing by McMillan, blocked but kept alive. Near side now, it's Mia Martinez. Allball pushes it far side for Fisher. She's blocked but is kept alive by McCombs. Allball now to Wheeler. Boy will tee it up for Mia Martinez. Now Langford with a dig. All ball near side, Molly Langford. Big swing goes off the hands of Kylie Martinez. A kill from Molly Langford. Point Carson-Newman. First kill of the night for Langford. Making an appearance here in this fourth set. Goes cross court there. Looks like she was going to. And then went right down the middle. 18-14. Limestone still out in front. Carson-Newman trying to crawl back into this set. Dalton sets up near side for McMillan. Big swing. McCombs with the back row dig. Now all ball bumps it for Wheeler. Puts it down on the back line and scores. Point Eagles. A bit of a run for Carson-Newman. Now trailing by only 3. 18-15. Limestone out in front. The serve for all ball received by Kylie Martinez. Now down the middle, it's Mia Martinez who scores. Big swing by Mia Martinez, number 8 in blue. Gets it done for Limestone, 19-15, and more importantly, the Saints get the serve back. Here's a serve from McMillan. All ball bumps it far side for Fisher. Big swing off a couple of Saints and down. Point Carson-Newman. 5th kill for Madison Fisher, as here comes McKenna Hall checking in for Fisher. Hall, who seems to be one of the serve specialists for the Eagles, will go back and serve. She's already got 2 service aces on the night. 9 service aces for Carson-Newman. A big part of their game. As here's the serve for Hall. Goes off the hands of Kylie Martinez. Mia Martinez keeps alive. Now Riddle tries to go far sideline. She cannot. It's out of bounds. Point Carson-Newman. Not a service ace, but the serve by Hall obviously threw off Limestone a little bit. Trying to scramble that loose ball back near the far side bleachers. Now Hall will serve once again. Carson-Newman trails by 2. Dalton sets up Riddle. Big swing off the hands of the middle blockers. And we'll call a violation on Limestone. Point Eagles. Looked like it hit that rod on the near side. Now Brandon Squares uses timeout. 19-18. Carson-Newman trails by 1, but right back into set 4. We back on the other side here on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here on the Eagle Sports Network, Carson-Newman Volleyball. Ryan Wilkes with you all night long as Carson-Newman trails by just 1. Limestone was in front 18-12 at one point, but a pair of runs by the Eagles have them right in this 4th set. Trying to steal a set from Limestone, and it looked like the Saints were well in control of this one. Before Carson-Newman started pushing back a little bit, it'll be McKenna Hall to serve. Eagles trail by 1, 19-18. Here's the serve from Hall. Back row, Kylie Martinez. Dalton sets up Riddle near side. She's blocked, tipped around by Limestone and kept alive. Riddle will try again, and this time have success going off the hands of Langford and Cobb. Point Limestone. Big point right there for the Saints. As Johnson will check back in. Thompson will check back in. It'll be Kylie Martinez to serve. Limestone leads 20-18, looking to push this to a 5th set. Kylie Martinez puts it into the net. Service error for Limestone. Point Eagles. Taylor Kieran back in for Emma Grace Cobb. It'll be Bennett McCombs to serve. She has the 3 service aces tonight. Eagles trail 20-19, looking to claw back and steal this set from Limestone as it goes back row for Kylie Martinez. Dalton sets up Riddle, tries to go back row, but cannot. Goes out of bounds. Point Eagles. All tied up at 20. Each team needs 5 points. We'll see who can win the race to 25 or go even further here in this 4th set. Carson-Newman leads 2-1, trying to close out a 4-set victory. McCombs with the serve. Dalton sets up. Thompson kept alive. Tipped around by Langford and scored. Bennett McCombs keeps it alive. The dig on the back row. And then Langford finishes it off. Point Eagles. Carson-Newman has the lead back in this fourth set. It's been a while, but the Eagles out in front 21-20. Here's the serve for Bennett McCombs. Goes back row, Kylie Martinez. Dalton sets up far side, Mia Martinez. Goes right into the hands of McCombs and up into the rafters. Point Limestone. The big swing by Mia Martinez. Got every piece of Bennett McCombs' forearms. And goes skying into the rafters. Limestone gets the kill, and Zabelski and Coran checking back in. Mia Martinez and Camden Dalton check out. Jenna Zabelski to serve. 21-all here in this fourth set. Limestone looking to push it to a decisive set number 5. Carson-Newman looking for a 4-set win. All ball down the middle for Wheeler, who finds the back line and scores. Point Carson-Newman. Kill Julia Wheeler, her 8th of the night. As all ball checks out, as well as Langford. Cherry and Weaver back in. Cherry to serve for Carson-Newman, leading 22-21 here in set 4. Here's a serve for Blair Cherry. Back row, Kylie Martinez. Coran bumps it towards McMillan. She'll just have to dump it over. Now Cherry sets up far side Wheeler. Kept alive by Limestone. Martinez near side Riddle. Great dig by McCombs. Dumped over by Kieran. Now back row, it's McMillan. She'll push it past the back line. Point Eagles. Carson-Newman now 2 points away from victory. Brandon Squares burns his last time out. Carson-Newman leads 23-21. We'll see if the Eagles can close it out on the other side on the Eagle Sports Network. Back here at Holt Fieldhouse, the Eagles have stormed back after trailing 18-12, using an 11-3 run here to push out in front. 23-21, Blair Cherry will serve. Eagles lead by 2. Trying to close it out and avoid pushing this to set 5. Served by Cherry. Set up by Zabelski near side for Coran. She'll put it into the net. Point Eagles. And just like that, Carson-Newman 1 point away from a 4-set win here at Holt Fieldhouse to close out the home regular season. Here's Cherry to serve. Match point for Carson-Newman. Back row, Kylie Martinez. Zabelski sets it up far side. Riddle, big swing. Cherry with the dig. McCombs keeps it in play. Now Wheeler goes back row. McMillan keeps it alive. Zabelski near side Riddle. McCombs. Now Cherry for Weaver. Weaver goes towards the far sideline, off the hands of Zabelski. Point Eagles. Carson-Newman closes out set number 4, brings it all the way back and wins this one in 4 sets over Limestone. 25-21, the final here in set number 3 all night long. Very competitive match between these two. Carson-Newman comes out on the winning side of things. The Eagles wrap up their home campaign 8-1. Here at home, the only loss coming to ranked Wingate. As Carson-Newman gets it done tonight. Ryan Wilkes signing off for the last time here from Holt Fieldhouse. It's been a great season. With all you guys tuning in, thank you so much. Ryan Wilkes signing off on the Eagle Sports Network. Good night, everybody.